India heading back to the T20 World Cup Cricket Finals with a thrilling 7-run win over England. What a game. What a game. We got everything. We got it coming down to the wire. We got a century from Jacob Bethel in a losing effort, and it was just one of those classic games. Maybe the best game we've seen. Oh, you got to give it to South Africa or Afghanistan, but it was a very good game. We're gonna break it all down here, guys. It was very good to watch. Now, India, they batted first, and they put up a really big total. Abhishek Sharma out second over to Jacks. They're 20 for 1, India. Samson would be dropped. This probably is the biggest moment of the day. Samson dropped for Brook. Brook drops an absolute dolly. There couldn't be an easier catch to ever drop. Ever. I think it's the easiest catch that could have been taken ever, and it was dropped. It was just unbelievable. Brook, at the caliber he is as a cricketer, to have the ball come straight to him, slow speed, looping in the air, just completely whiffs it, bobbles it, it's done. Samson would make England pay. Coming out of the 6th over, out of the power play, 67 for 1. Just remember, Samson was dropped on 15. Samson scores his 50. He goes back-to-back 50s. He's 52 off 26, and it's his back-to-back 50s after not scoring a 50 for 13 matches. He's found form at the perfect time for India. They backed him. They brought him back into the side, and he has not let India down. Ishan Kishan, he would get out 39 off 18 to Rashid. Beautiful. It's 117 for 2 at this point. Into the 10th over at the halfway point, 119 for 2. Samson, he would end up getting out on 89 off 42. It's 160 for 3. Sky, 11 off 6, 190 for 4. Dubé comes in, 43 off 25. He got put up the order. It actually came in before Sky, but when Samson got out, Sky came in. Vermeer, he got 21 off 7, striking at 300. He came in off 7 balls, hit 21. That was just fire. They're 236 for 6. Hardik Pandya, 27 off 12. He would get run out in the final over, just pushing for 1. And it all came down to the end. Jacks versus Pandya at the end. He gets run out. I wrote a little note here for 2. They post 253 for 7, and it's the 4th highest score ever. And there's been the other 3. This is the 3rd highest score now put into the mix from this World Cup. The top 4, 3 of them are from this World Cup. It would be 254 to win. England at that ground had set a record chase of 229. They chased down South Africa in 2016. It was a big ask for them to try to chase down 253. Coming into England's innings, Phil Salt out for 5. And the first wicket Hardik Pandya would get off his very first ball. Brook comes in at 3 again, coming up the order. And then Axar Patel would make one of the most important catches at this moment. When he takes this catch, it's arguably the most important catch in a semi-final ever. This catch was insane. He had to run back 78 feet, 24 meters over his shoulder, running backwards. The ball, he's looking up. The ball, he can barely see the ball. Sprinting after the ball, over his shoulder, diving catch, makes the catch. It was incredible. And it just kind of shifted the mood for India into their favor at this point. It really changed the mood for them. They were always kind of ahead in the game, but that was just like a big moment for them. Bethel, he would then take off for Chakravarti. He would go 6-6-6 in the 6th over, moving them to 63 for 2 out of the power play. And then Butler, he would get bowled for 26. He's been out of form. He's been out of form, and he was never really in it. He swung and missed a lot. So he got 25. Actually, he got bowled for 25. 25 of 17, he was. And then England, they would get to a point where they were 81 for 3 Bannon, he would go after Axar Patel, and he would go 6-6, and then a wicket. That'd be 95 for 4. Bethel, there was a run-out chance in the 10th over. Hardik Pandya threw the ball a little too hard, and they just messed it up at the bowler's end. Could have been a run-out chance there. They get to the 10th over. India at the 10th over were 119 for 2, and England were 119 for 4. So they had the runs on the board, England. They were going at the right rate. They had just lost 2 extra wickets. Bethel, he would get to his 50 off just 19 balls, making him the 5th person from this World Cup to score a 50 on 19 balls exactly. Now, a couple of things started to happen from this over. In the 11th over, now I don't want to say it's little tactics from the Indian crowd or the Indian MC, but something that you don't really see. During the 11th over, the MC on the ground started making the crowd chant Bumrah, like over the loudspeaker. It was like, Bumrah, Bumrah, Bumrah. And even the broadcast team were like, this is kind of like not okay. Like, we're at a semi-final, and the play was paused for a few seconds, like waiting for the chant to die down because it was coming off the mic of the MC. So if the crowd is chanting, that's fine. But if the MC is chanting, that's not really okay. And I think they started to do this because England were kind of, like I said, getting away. I think it's a little bit of a tactic from the MC at the ground. Let me know if you've ever had this happen before. But I think it's a little controversial having the chant happen because it happens again. Chakravarti had been very, very expensive. He'd been going for more than 10 and over, even through the Super 8s, and he was very expensive today. Chakravarti going for economy of 16 today off his 4. 1 wicket for 64. He's ranked as the best bowler in the world, but he had been really torn apart, this especially the Super 8s and today. England just were showing no mercy. Now, the MC again in the 12th over starts yelling mid-over. 3 balls are bowled, and then he's getting the crowd again to start chanting over the mic, which I think very controversial, very shouldn't be happening, and they really should be looking into that moving forward. Into the 12th over, they're 145 for 4. They're moving along, England. Bethel is really holding this down for them. They get a partnership with Jacks. They're 50 runs off, come about 29 deliveries. Sky, he would miss there would be a 6 hit, and then Sky would a little bit of a misfield, and it would roll for 4. And at that point, it really felt like the momentum kind of shifted towards England at that point. And 160 for 4 they were. What's happening here? We went, I got a lot of notes. Oh, so we come to Ashdeep. Ashdeep starts bowling, and there is many wides from this Ashdeep over. One wide in particular, the 13.5th ball, was not a wide. It was not a wide. It was absolutely not a wide. It was clearly inside the guidelines. Even if the player shifted from the crease, he didn't move. And I think that was really important. What happened after that is that he kept bowling in the wide angle. He then bowls another wide, which is actually a wide, but it actually set up a wicket for, we're going to call it the greatest catch ever. Axar Patel had the greatest catch earlier in the game, and then an even better catch happened. He throws the wide out to Jax. Jax throws the bat at it because he knows that the ball is going to be wide, skies it to the boundary, out to the sweeper at like extra cover, and he takes the catch, Axar Patel, but knows he's going to run out of bounds, throws it to Dubé, inches from the boundary rope. Dubé catches it, and it is a catch. Absolutely insane. The pendulum now switches back to India. Jax and Bethel were really putting on a show. They needed at that point. Jax out 35 off 20, 82 off 36. Final 6, they needed 82. Bumrah, he bowls the 18th over, and this was very crucial from India. They needed to set it up to have, it was no good to have someone else bowl that over and then get 15 runs. Bumrah bowls the 18th over. They get 6 from that over, and it would prove to be beneficial, saying they had so much to chase at the end. Curran would get out. He would hole out in the deep. That would have been a 6. The catch was taken, and the trajectory would have been a 6. Coming all down to the wire here, they had a little too much to do in the end. Bethel fought hard. He tried to get back on strike in that final over. He would be run out on 105 off 48. It was a beautiful innings. He batted so well. It just fell a little short for England in the end. And then they would come out Overton. Archer couldn't really get it done. They needed 30 off the last over. It wasn't to be. They would end up falling 7 runs short. It was the highest total, though, made in a chase. What England put up, the 146 is the highest score made in a chase, even though they lose. Sanju Samson, man of the match performance, 89 off his 42. The bowling department for India, everyone kind of chipped in. Ashdeep gets 1 wicket. Hardik Pandya gets 2 wickets. Jasprit Bumrah 1 wicket. Chakravarti that 1, but 1 for 64. Axar Patel 1 for 35. Another key moment on the run out of Bethel. Hardik Pandya on the boundary, making a pinpoint throw back to the keeper's end, back to the batter's end. Gets that run out. Really crucial. If Bethel was still at the crease, could have potentially got England home. England, it's going to be a hard loss for them, coming off the big Ashes loss, losing to India. They were always going to be the underdogs in this game, but they did show some fight. I think this is going to be Butler. This will probably be his last appearance in a T20I. I think his time is up. I'm not sure who they're going to have come in as keeper. I almost would have, I don't know if Duckett could keep, but I almost would have had him come in. But it would have been kind of a slap in the face for someone that has done so much for England. But yeah, England's run is over. India set themselves up now to go back-to-back World Cup T20I champions. They're going to be facing New Zealand. New Zealand versus India. Now, India and New Zealand have faced off a lot in the recent history. They faced off each other for that 5-match series leading into the World Cup. It's going to be very interesting how this plays out. We have to say that Timmy Seifert and Phil Allen still the pick of the opening partnerships here. India have gone back and forth about who's going to be that opening pair. They've got Samson, Sharma, Kishan in at 3 now. But those three should fire. Samson, he's on a heater now. He's got 2 back-to-back beautiful innings. It's going to be how the bowling plays out. I think India, can prove in those death overs with the ball in hand. They can restrict with Bumrah. He's just so good. I don't know if New Zealand has that in them. I think the guy to do it for New Zealand's going to have to be Lockie Ferguson. I think they'll be able to take him down a little more than Ferguson. So let me know your thoughts on this game and who you think is going to win against India versus New Zealand. We'll be wrapping that game as soon as it's done on Sunday. Thanks, team, and that's cricket.